project get started?
It kind of went wrong straight away. We had this plan for this little behind the scenes video, and thanks to these guys, they realised that they'd got something bigger. We at Valve had decided to hold the International in 2011, and we took cameras along simply to document the event for the fans. And on return, the guys were really convinced that they'd found a series of stories that really required something of a longer format and something that was going to be a bit more special. And on looking at the footage, it was pretty clear that they were right. And so from that point, work began in earnest on what turned out to be free-to-play.
All right, so take some cameras, find some magic, and then turn it into a documentary.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, oh, is my mic turned off? No? It was never really the plan, but the stories were there and they were rich, you know, and so they needed telling, I think.
So, Scott, a lot of focus on the players in this one. You know, there's a lot of, I know a lot of people in esports would be like, you know, we love the game, but with this documentary, a lot of focus on the players. So why was that the decision?
Well, I think that's something that people just relate to in any sport. It could be football, basketball, baseball. You know, people understand the game, but I think what they want to know is what it takes to be a great player, especially with this film. These guys are playing, like they said, for nothing. So there's a drive there, and so we were interested in examining what that was, because it's a human story, and that's something everyone can relate to. And luckily, these guys have great stories. So we were psyched, and as James said, that's one of the driving forces that it sort of pushed us to tell more. Because it would have been easy just to do a film about, you know, Dota competitions, but I think the background was interesting, and I think it added a lot.
Definitely. Did you guys like the stories in the documentary they followed? Definitely great stories there. So, Jeff, tell us about the team that made the film. Was it all done at Valve? I mean, you know, did you come up with the idea and make it all yourselves? I mean, how was it with the team?
Well, it was a small crew at Valve. I mean, we just grabbed a couple cameras and we thought, wow, you know, this tournament sounds like it might actually be a pretty big deal. So we brought some 5Ds, a few DSLRs, a 7D. We shot a little bit with a red camera near the end of production. Just traveled to a number of different places. Went to Lviv, Denmark. Where else did we go? Medford, Oregon, Beijing, Singapore. Tournament was in Cologne, and we grabbed a couple other interviews from different places, and went to Houston and San Francisco. Shot an interview out here. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I hope people enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so. And it was all done within Valve, like from the get-go, the idea. And...
Yeah, hello. The shooting, the principal photography, the editing, a lot of the post-production work, the sound mixing was all done at Valve, and we had some help from a couple companies, Universal helping us with the sound mixing for theatrical, and also modern video film. They helped do a lot of the color correction and color timing. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. I don't particularly think that we had this idea internally that we would just do this film and we'd do it all kind of pretty much in-house. But I guess that's kind of the Valve style, and for us, as kind of young filmmakers, it was a heck of an opportunity. So yeah, we were just kind of lucky to run into these players,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Kind of worked out the Valve way. Phil, the film launches tomorrow. Is it available in other languages? And currently, people have been able to get hold of it or pre-download it on Steam. Is it going to be available outside of Steam as well?
Oh yeah, that's right. Starting tomorrow, you can watch it on Steam. It's available in 24 different languages. We also have some bonus footage. It kind of relates to some of the difficulties we ran into the film. I mean, there was some scenes that we really enjoyed all as filmmakers. We had them edited, and we shot hundreds of hours of footage, but there were just these scenes that we really loved and didn't really want to let go of, and so you'll get to see some of those starting tomorrow on Steam. It's also going to be available on YouTube and starting Saturday on iTunes, and they'll kind of trickle in as the weeks go on, because some of the contracts are a little bit more difficult than just us self-publishing it on Steam.
All right, so yeah, make sure you tell people 20 languages, and I believe Twitch TV tomorrow as well, we're going to be streaming it, so if you've got any friends that want to watch it, make sure you tell them to get hold of it. So I just want to assure you guys, before I go into my last question, that everyone here is actually really nervous in terms of the response that's going to come from this. They all might seem really cool right now, when Valve employees. The only person that didn't seem nervous on the way over it, and I don't think it's because he didn't mind what was going to be the response, but probably because he had too much wine, because he was overly nervous, was Nick. And I want to ask Nick, what effects do you hope the film has on the individuals in the community?
On one hand, you know, when we looked at the movie, it's about Fear, HY, Dendi, and Dota 2, but really, it was really more about their passion to do what they really love to do, which we can all appreciate. I mean, hence the title. I think it wouldn't have mattered if we would have followed 3 professional athletes in any sport. It could have been underwater basket weaving. If they were competitive in some way, they want to be appreciated. They want to know what they're working for is worth something. I think that's a story that everybody can relate to. It doesn't really matter what it is. They all just want to be free to play.
So, we get to the interesting part where you get to ask all the questions that I'm not allowed to ask, because otherwise they cancel my flights home. So, we're going to ask you guys, there are going to be 2 microphones set up, and I believe there's a couple of members of staff in each of the aisles that will will bring you up and take your questions, and then we'll hand them off to the team. So, ask what you want. Also, I will say that if you do not want to be filmed, because this is being filmed and you don't want to be on camera, don't come up and ask a question. That might help, not being on camera. You can still stay in the audience, that's fine. So if you want to come up to the microphones and you have a question, please do, because once we get some questions, we're going to be finished off. So if you raise your hand, just head over. Oh, okay, I think Chad's going to find somebody. This is the real test, guys. The real test.
So I'm going first, I guess. I got to have a really good question or something. I don't know. First, I just want to say congrats. I mean, no matter what happens with your esports careers, you guys are the founding fathers of esports, and that's amazing, because it's going to get really big, and you guys were the first. So I just want to say that's something to really be proud of. And so thanks for all your sacrifice towards that. I have a question for Dendi. I've been hearing a lot of stuff in the news about Ukraine and everything. I was wondering if that's actually affecting your gaming career.
Yeah, now I can talk. Well, it's actually serious stuff. When I was leaving home, I opened the door, and there were some guys with guns. No joke. I was like, okay, jump down the car, taxi, drive to airport. When we sit to plane start going up, and then some guy with bazooka, but good we have good drivers, so he dodged the stuff. So in the end, we actually made it. Yeah, but okay, I'm joking. Nothing actually. You probably see a lot of media and stuff, but it doesn't really that scary. Well, obviously, people showing what they want us to see, so it's not that scary. In my city, I'm absolutely fine and not much going, so it's like normal days and stuff. Yeah, there is like some argument between Russia and Ukraine about Crimea right now going, but it's not that scary like it looks, so we are fine. Thank you. Good.
Okay, I believe we have a question from the other